I bought a 5 kilo bar of silver, although I suppose it's actually a square rather than a bar. But regardless, I kind of regret buying it. It's a bit big. It's a bit too valuable. I know it's a bit of a first world problem. But we're going to talk about why I think this was not necessarily the best buy for a silver stacker to add to their collection. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for this week's In Focus Friday, where you're going to see me struggle to pick up and lift and hold to camera this 5 kilo Geiger square that I recently bought. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of regret buying it in a few different ways. I'm going to tell you a little bit why. It's a bit of a first world kind of problem to say my bar of silver is too big, bulky and valuable, but there are some practical issues about owning silver in this kind of weight category, which I think are quite interesting, and certainly for some people to think about before diving in and buying something like this, even if you can get it for such a great price. I'll also talk about some of the good things that I can foresee about owning a bar of silver like this that I can see, and the reasons why I was crazy enough to even buy it in the first place. Now, we're also going to show you, and this gives me an opportunity to put it down because it's bloody heavy, we're also going to show you our 10-ounce anniversary bar for the Silver Forum, which is being given away over on that forum. So if you want to find out more about that, stay tuned. For about halfway through this video, we'll tell you a little bit more about that, or there are links down in the description box below if you just can't wait. But this is going to a lucky winner in the next month or so. But first, 5 kilos of silver. Goodness me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. How long you think I can hold this up for without having to put it down again, and also whether or not you would be crazy enough to buy something like this. Now, I bought it because of the price over anything else, and I suppose the cool factor as well of making exceptionally funky content here on YouTube. I like to have a channel which shows things that many people won't ever get or see, and for me, this is one of those things. It's a ridiculously large piece of silver. It's an incredibly beautiful piece of silver. We all know and love the Geigers being some of the really nicest bits of silver out there on the market. And when I saw this come up for sale, and it didn't shift, I saw someone put it up for sale, I think it was like 3,700, which at the time was around spot price. And it didn't shift, nobody wanted it. And nobody was crazy enough to buy it. Part of the problems of it being so bulky and valuable. And I messaged the seller and said, is there any break on the price? And he came back and offered £3,525. So that was where we were. And at the time, that was below spot price. And so I was like, do you know what? Oh, right, go on then, I'll buy it. I know that's a bit of a first world problem, isn't it? Of me saying I'm sort of cheating by resting my hands on the table and holding this. So who had like a minute 30? Crikey, I need to do some weights training. But I know it's a bit of a first world problem to go and have to buy a £3,500 bar of silver to show on YouTube. But at the time, I have been saying, at least for the last 3-4 months, that gold seems far too expensive and silver is the better option if you can get it at the right price. So for me, this is a very large piece of silver that is going to be converted into gold at some point down the line, which means that one day I will be looking to part with it and sell it. Now, when that will happen, I don't know, and we'll all be sitting here until we're grey and old waiting for silver to actually move into those stratospheric categories of price points. But if and when something like that happens, I think my target on this would be £5,000. Nice sort of £1,500 return. We'd need silver to get to £1,000 a kilo, which is like, I don't know, £30 an ounce, something like that, maybe a touch higher. I haven't done the maths, but it's going to happen one day. Whether it'll be in 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, I don't know. But for me, I have this luxury of having a little bit more flexibility than your average stacker. I have, of course, a social media profile, the ability to get it sold relatively quickly if I were to list it on my website. I'm sure somebody would take it off me at spot price or even have to drop it a little bit below spot. But the point is, it is liquid for me. But the impracticalities of its weight category, and I have to put it down again, sorry, fully failing on the do you lift, bro. I honestly, I don't. I maybe should set up a gym and use this as the weight training. But point here is that the weight of it is the impracticality of it. So if you're looking to sell this, of course, we're going to have to shift it through the postal network. We all know the joys of Royal Mail at the moment, and something like this would cost about £28 to post. But the main problem is around insurance, with its spot value being, of course, about £3,500. It's not going to be insured, and even if you pay for the enhanced insurance protection, if it goes missing and you declare it honestly, which if you don't, you're committing fraud. If you could, declare it honestly, the Royal Mail will probably turn around and say, sorry, that was over the value of our insurance. Therefore, the entire validity of your claim is in doubt. So no, and you'll lose out. And that was a question we had for the seller, who very sort of generously took on that risk burden when posting it. So, it does have to be factored in. Maybe the only real way I can sell this in the future is a face-to-face meeting or going to perhaps a dealer and shifting it that way. But selling it on the secondary market, on the sort of second-hand market, is something that is possible. Of course, I bought it. The crazy that is me was fine buying it, and I'm sure there are some other people out there who are equally as crazy, especially over on the Silver Forum. So you have to find one single buyer who's going to have that kind of money, rather than if you had 5 single kilo bars. So that's the other impracticality about a bar this size, but it's possible. Anyway, it brings me to a nice segue for the Silver Forum and a rest from my arms because it's too bloody heavy. We have a 10-ounce bar that we've made. So the Silver Forum is 10 years old. It was 10 in March, and the owner of the forum, Chris Silver, got in touch with me and said, can I make them a special bar? So we did, and this is the results that we did. We didn't just make it on our own, though. We had some help from our good friends, Silver Angel Pouring, who have also created some Silver Forum products for the forum this last year. And it's great to have them doing that as well. I feel like at some point in my lifetime, I might consider stepping back from pouring silver. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you when. It's probably 20, 30 years in the future, but it's nice to know that someone else could take up the mantle if that ever happened. But anyway, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. They helped. They created all of the beautiful laser etching on here. We had it laser hallmarked by the Edinburgh office. I've hand stamped the big logo in here and then hammer finished the entire bar to within an inch of its life. One of one. That's the only one that will make ever in this size category for the forum. It's an incredible piece, and there's a giveaway happening right now. All you need to be is a member of the forum. It's free to join. You can go and find out all of that information in the links in the description box below. I will be doing other videos showing this bar and telling you about that giveaway to remind you to go and enter, but it's a great place to be. And if in a nice segue back to the 5 kilo bar that I don't really want to lift up, but I'm going to have to, it's a fantastic place to sell silver. So, as I said, I bought this on the forum, and I see deals on the forum every single day. For those that are waiting in the wings for my Backyard Bullion Buyers Club to get going again, I don't know if I can compete with a lot of the deals that are happening on places like the forum and even Facebook. It's a really hard market right now, and the forum is thriving when it comes to the trade section. So definitely worth checking out. Back to the big 5 kilo bar though. The last impracticality about it is filming with it, and that is certainly something to factor in. Now, part of me as well wants to rip it out of this plastic, but at the end of the day, I kind of want to keep it in there because it's quite nice in the plastic, holding it all together. I also don't know, I think this is kind of glued onto the silver. I could be wrong, but I don't really want to take this off and lose it if that's part of the design. I think it's glued on though from memory, but we'll have to sort of look at that one day in the future. But for now, I'll be resisting the urge to rip open this plastic and show this bar. Maybe I'll do that if we get somewhere like 100,000 subs. That'll be kind of cool, but we'll have to get there first. So yeah, I bought a 5 kilo bar of silver, and I think on balance, I kind of regret the impracticality of it. If I could have bought 5 singular kilo bars for the same price, I would have done that instead. But you can't knock silver below spot price when gold is at all-time highs. And that's the thing that I think counters the argument as to why this was a bit of an impractical and bad buy that I might regret. I think overall, I love it. And it is the single biggest piece of silver in my stack now. So much so that I'm going to have to put it down. Bloody hell. I thought, do you know what? When I bought like a 100-ounce bar, I thought that was incredible. That was the biggest thing, and it was difficult to film with that. This is even more so. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section on what you would do with a bar of silver this size. Would you find it just too good to pass up if you got that price point? It would be great to hear from you. Thank you to all my Backyard Bullion Ramblers for watching to the back end of my video. And thank you to the Cool Kids Club members who, as always, are super extra special cool. That's it from me. We'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.